Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world right now. It is Kelly, Tiny Wise Mama, coming to you with some myth busting about spirituality. I was asked a question recently about whether or not I drank alcohol, and this was in a spiritual context. And my answer is generally, I don't drink alcohol, but it's for personal health reasons. So I've been working a lot on my gut health, and I know that if I drink too much or I drink things that have sulfites in them or anything, I stay away from it generally because I'm allergic to some of the ingredients that go into it, and also because then it doesn't make me feel very good. However, on my 50th birthday, I did have a glass of wine. Somebody brought this lovely blueberry wine from a local winery, and I had a glass, and I enjoyed that. And that's all that I had. I also have family members with addiction problems, so I tend to stay away from that kind of thing just because, I just don't keep alcohol around in my house. But that doesn't mean that as a spiritual person that on occasion I don't, treat myself to something like that. There are a lot of spiritual ideas that you have to give up all of these things in order to be a spiritual person. And it really comes down to what you're doing with your awareness. For drinking alcohol, for example, do you understand why you drink? Why you want to take a drink? If you understand that on a Saturday, I want to have it's a hot day and I want to have a cold beer, and you understand that and you just want to enjoy that in the moment, there's not anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the things that we have here in life. But if you need to have a drink every day, for example, just ask yourself why you might need to have a drink every day. I'm not telling anyone what to do in that regard. It is your personal choice because it's what you're doing with your awareness. There's so many things that are external, like alcohol. We could talk about books. We could talk about video games. We could talk about exercise and eating food even. It all comes down to what you're doing with your mind, because all of those things we can use to escape. We can escape from how we feel because we overindulge in food, or we read to escape, for example. So sometimes it comes down to what are we doing with our awareness? Why am I exercising every single day? Why am I doing anything that I'm doing? You should always be questioning yourself and what you're doing with your awareness when you do it. For example, even video games, you can escape into those all the time because you don't want to deal with stress from work or whatever, or life in general. Or you can use it to understand what parts of your brain get triggered and what's happening with your awareness during that time. But anything, you can indulge in things sometimes, once in a while, if you understand what you're doing with your mind when you do it. So giving up things that you enjoy doesn't make you a more spiritual person. Understanding what you do with your awareness is what is important. And I don't even want to say that that's spirituality. It's just that sometimes we have these really mixed up ideas and we adopt other spiritual teachers' ideas or other gurus' ideas on, what they think that we should do. And a lot of those people have developed those practices or adopted those practices because they have a lifestyle that affords them the ability to do so. And some of those things don't fit in with some of us who have everyday jobs and lives. And so trying to adopt those things is actually hurting us more than it's helping. For example, people who are vegan might not be getting everything they need because they aren't doing it properly. They just don't know. If you are juicing, for example, I've known people that have given themselves pancreatitis because they did it too much. So anything that's good for us, we can also use it against ourselves if we're not aware of what we're doing with our mind. Because generally, a spiritual practice should make you feel better. It should make you feel good. You should not feel exhausted all the time. Yes, you may feel tired from releasing, from detoxing, from any physical detoxing or emotional detoxing that you do. You can feel tired because you've been holding on to that space and you're recalibrating. But in general, your practice should actually make you feel good. And if it is not making you feel good, that's when you need to stop and question if what you're doing is actually right for you. Because what's right for me is not right for everyone. And I have a lot of tools, and I do teach those tools to people. But the other thing that I teach is to help them figure out how to use it for themselves. It's not to use it the way I'm doing it for them, but to help them use it for themselves. So there's some food for thought, just to think about that your spiritual practice should make you feel good. And if it isn't, to understand anything that you're doing in the external world, anything that you're bringing into your internal world, make sure that you're feeling good about it.